Welcome to the Kinjaz podcast. Here we will discuss dance, life, and whatever the we want.
Folks, welcome back or welcome to Kinjaz Movement in the Shadows. We are your host, Ben.
And I'm Anthony.
And as always, we have incredible people in the pod. Today, we are stoked to have dancer, choreographer, writer, director, actor, creative visionary, B-boy, repping Skill Methods crew. We got Daniel Cloud Campos in the pod.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
What's
for
up,
having
Cloud?
me. Thanks for the intro.
Dude, thanks for coming on, bro. You called us out earlier. It's taken us 2 seasons to get you on the pod, but we got you here, man.
I'm
Thanks
here.
for
That's all that
coming through.
matters.
At the
I made it
studio.
onto the
At the studio.
Anthony's studio apartment.
Just the Kinjaz studio. No, I have no idea where it is.
Yeah, I don't either. But you told me. I mean, I was blindfolded when I got here. I was
Yeah,
like, where am I?
we
He
duped
doesn't-
you
he
into
doesn't
coming
want me
on.
he doesn't want me to know, like, this is his house.
Hey, so I don't know.
I hate
that
working
out.
at home.
You hate working at home?
Yeah, but that's cool.
Don't you work at home all the time?
Nah, well, if I'm working on certain things, I work on music at my home.
We're gonna get into it. Like Ben said, we've been wanting to get you on here because
Yes.
you're a very, very influential person that we've always looked up to you in many ways, in all facets of the art and the entertainment sector. We've gotten a chance to collaborate with you on a number of things that we're going to dive into and stuff, but it is an absolute pleasure and honor to have you here finally. He rejected my first 14 emails, so that's,
Yeah, right.
that's why.
Did I?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I did.
No, for sure.
But yeah, so let's get into it. It's your first time here, so obviously we're gonna get into a little bit of the origin stories of like what makes, how you even fucking came up with the name Cloud, like all of that, where you're from, what you do, and all that good stuff.
That story's been told so many times.
Never
Let's
here,
just
though.
skip it then. Let's
Never
just go to
hear
all
that.
the tragedy.
Give us whatever version.
Yeah, go
of
back
your...
to where like my life turned around in the darkest way. I'm kidding.
Oh dang, we
No,
can
no.
go there too.
No, don't do that.
But yeah, just the
where you
brief
guys-
origin, man. Like where you from, where you grew up, and all the things, and
All right.
yeah, let's go there.
I grew up in San Diego. I moved around so much that I wouldn't say where I grew up at. I just grew up in San Diego from like 1 until 11. And then I moved to Florida, and I was there from 11. No, sorry. I moved to Virginia for a year until I was 12. And then 12 to 21, I was in Florida. And then I've been here ever since in LA. So, yeah.
Why were you moving so frequently at like those ages?
My dad was in the military in the beginning, like up until I was like 15, and then like he retired. Oh wait, or maybe it was way before that. Damn, my memory. I don't like know where. What?
So
Yeah,
it's not
but
about your
yeah,
dad,
it
it's
was-
about you.
Yeah, something about my dad. Well, if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be here. So I have to thank him for
That's
that.
also true.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, but we moved around a lot because my dad was in the military. We were in military housing, in a lot of places. And then when that kind of ended, we moved to Virginia, just as like find a place to start over. Then, but my grandma lived in Florida, so that's where we ended up at.
Huh.
Yeah,
Got it. And when did dance enter your life?
that was in San Diego. I was I think I was 11, if I remember.
So
clear
the
enough.
last year before you left.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
So yeah, I started like I found it like at a military base. My dad because my dad loved bowling, so like we would go to a military base every Mondays and like go to the bowling alley, and I would just go outside and play in the playground or go to the arcade. And I was outside, and like I don't know how these kids got there, but there was like this circle happening outside of the bowling alley, and they were like all dancing, and I was asking my brother, I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "That's called breakdancing." And I was like, "Oh, how do you know?" And he was like, "Because I know how to do it."
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys the story. before?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
That's exactly what this is for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought you guys knew about the story, but yeah. So my brother was like, "Yeah, it's called breakdancing," and I didn't know that he knew how to do it. You know, he kind of like, he learned it down for some kids down the street, and I thought he was lying. And he was like, "When I get home, I'll show you like that I know how to do it." And I was
Oh,
like,
snap.
"Okay." He didn't want to do it in front of the guys because I guess he wasn't at that level, but. He was like, "When I get home, I'll show you." And then we got home, and then he showed me windmills, and they were like the most beautiful windmills, or just the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
like it was one
totally.
of those eye-opening moments where you're like, "That's magic." That's because I was like 11, like so. Like my brother was like a superhero to me
How old is your brother? Or
He
how
was-
many-
he's
what's the
9
age
years
difference?
older.
Okay.
than me, and And before that, he had got me into drawing. He like he was like kind of like my hero when I was little.
Dope.
And he was kind of like my father figure, and like,
Dang,
yeah, he was like, he did Dungeons and Dragons, like I think that's how I, Dungeons and Dragons, bro, like that's how I got into like storytelling, because his imagination opened my mind, and like how he told the stories through Dungeons and Dragons, and like, so he's just like the person who got me started into like mostly everything creative. It was my brother Kevin, and my other brother Aaron too. Like the three of us like started a whole breakdancing crew after all that, and like,
So you had total of 3 boys.
yeah, it's 3 of us and have a sister.
You have a sister as well.
Yeah,
Are you youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh dang! And
Dope.
you started a b-boy crew with your brothers.
Yeah.
That's freaking dope.
Yeah, it
What
was
the
cool.
name of the crew?
3 Brothers Grimm.
Oh,
It was cool, man. It was like,
That's good.
and I was the youngest, and like it's like when you get introduced to a word, you like see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like I didn't know what breakdancing was, but then all of a sudden I was just like introduced to Beach Street, and like we had like no furniture in our house because because of money and stuff. So like we turned our whole back room into like a cardboard floor, and like
Dope.
we had a TV with a VCR. With,
I love the nonchalance that
Beach
you said
Street.
that. Yeah, we had no furniture, money and stuff.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
like it was cool though. Like we had
Yeah.
like we preferred it, so we had like the space to dance. Like
That's
so, it was kind of
amazing.
cool. Yeah, so like we just did that for a while, and then like we started hearing about house parties. Like, because back then they just did house parties in garages. So like they were like, we would hear about through word of mouth, and we'll just show up. And like when you're new at something, and like there's something about it that I feel like I was just natural at. Like it was something that I felt confident. Like, and I was small, so you kind of have that like that reputation of like I'm little and I could do this. So like I could get away with a lot. You know what I mean? So it was like a certain confidence when I was little. And then so I like entered competitions at these house parties, and like, and I always get like, great reactions from like different crews, and they would always want to put me in their crew. And I was like, yeah, and my brothers, and they're like, and they're like, yeah, they could come too. And I was like, yeah, Kevin, let's get in this crew. Like, so like, and that's kind of like, it just like snowballed from there.
But by this time, were you already in like Virginia or Florida?
No, I was still, that all happened so fast. Like, it was only within a year, like I was in like a crew.
Within a year, you're in a crew. You started a crew. You're getting invited to crews.
Yeah, within a year,
Man.
like that last year. And yeah, exactly. And then like afterwards, and that's kind of how I felt at that age. I felt like kind of invincible, and I could just play and do anything, and like everything was so brand new and fresh, and it was like just for the love of like, I miss those days.
Yeah.
Those days where you like, it just feels like magic. Everything like learning how to do continuous flares was just like mind blowing. Like it was just like I couldn't wait to get it, and it worked. I only had one flare for a whole month, and then when I woke up one day and I did like 12 in a row on my first go, it was just like
Woke up one day.
You
and
went,
had it.
was
the
like-
first time doing continuous flares, you went to 12?
when I did 12 in a row. I was like,
Wow.
all right, I'm gonna try it again. I just went boom, and it just clicked, and I just kept going. I was like, oh my god, and I was like even talking to my brother when I was doing
dude.
it. Bro, I was like, yo, Kevin, and I was like travel to the camera.
Whoa.
And somebody has it on video because
That's
somebody
amazing.
filmed it. Like
I remember I was because I first started with breaking as well, and I remember the first time I ever
You did?
Yeah, I did. I know that's really weird, but I
No,
loved
that's
it.
amazing.
I loved it. I started in college. I had like Victor Kim. I was training with him all the time.
yeah.
And I remember it took me like maybe like 4.5, 5 months to get continuous windmills for the first time. And the very first time I did, I was like just running around at a recreation center at UCI. And nobody was around me. I just like, I'm going to go into this like little room. It's not a dance room, but it's got pads and stuff.
Yeah.
I was, I'm going to go and just try it. And I hit like 2.5 windmills. And I screamed by myself. I had nobody to share with. So I called my sister. And she didn't even like, you know what I mean? It's just like, she's not even in the vicinity, And I'm like, I just got continuous windmills. She's like, wow.
Congratulations.
But I
Is she
remember that
older?
euphoria. Yeah, she's 2 years older.
Okay, yeah.
Just that feeling. It's so
beautiful.
I think that's why I love breaking so much more than like a lot of other things, because you get those moments,
The payoff.
On any given day, you could stick the shit out of a freeze and be like,
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like even hitting the pencils, like the drills. Like
Yeah, I
one
never
time I
got
hit
that good.
I think I hit like 5 of those, and I felt like I hit 100. It felt like that heightened, But it's like I imagine that's how like athletes feel when they reach a certain thing,
Right,
like
yeah.
just that drive to get it, and like it really is magic. Like
like
those
you
beginning
mentioned something
stages.
about kind of having a natural inclination to be able to pick stuff up. Like, was that something that you've always kind of had that ability once you kind of see something and you kind of understand the mechanics of it naturally? Like,
Yeah.
how do you just like all of a sudden go from like one flare to like 12? You know what I'm saying? Like you must
I mean, that
understand
was
something.
like repetition for sure, but getting into it for sure, like it was just a natural draw to me because growing up I was shy. I didn't really like want to talk much and stuff like that, but I always expressed myself through physical things, like whether it be like physical comedy, like when I was younger, making my brothers and sisters laugh, and like watching Jackie Chan films, Bruce Lee films, and like manipulating me and my brothers make up our own like fight scenes, and like we would like have imaginary fights where we'll have tournaments, and it was like me, my brothers, and my friends, and we were like, and we would pick who will win the round. I'm like, I'm gonna win this one, but like don't go that, don't let me win that easy, and like we just do some stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna win now, and he falls to the floor, and I'll break his neck. It was like pretty violent. Or go, like. So I was always gravitated towards like martial arts too. I never took anything, but like the movement of martial arts was so fascinating to me. So I think dance kind of related in that way. Like, and I was looking for something. I was always curious. So when I found that, it was just one of those things I just like.
Yeah. I feel like when I first saw you like in the scene, there was definitely like, yeah, I just knew you as B-Boy Cloud, but I'm like, there's something like there's a different element to like your quality of movement and even in like the choices that you make in like just your character. And nothing against like other B-boys, but I was like, there's just another performance quality that you have. And I and now that you're talking about it, I can see the influences from physical comedy to martial arts to just kind of incorporating more of just everything that you're inspired by into your performance and like just I remember just your BC1 rounds. I was like, this guy is something else, dude.
All right.
Like, can you talk a little bit about, like the inspirations? I mean, yeah, you said Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, but like, I feel like there's like Charlie Chaplin, like Gene Kelly, like that whole thing there too. Can you like talk about like where you kind of like gravitated towards those things?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously you named a lot of the ones that I'm inspired by, like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Donald O'Connor. Yeah, and definitely Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, all those guys, like Jackie Chan, even like I think he was another one that kind of like was influenced by the same people. Therefore, it related into his art form within martial arts, and I think kind of like you could kind of say that about me in dance, like you can, which is cool. I mean, it's funny how that stuff, how it happens, where like it starts to just relate into your art form. But it was never like I'm gonna make a choice to be to put their work into my art form. Like I want to channel those things. It was just like I think an unconscious thing. It just happened, just being influenced. Like as I was younger, I didn't actually find out about Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire until I was like 21. And then, but the moment I saw them is kind of the moment I was just like, that's where I want to take dance. It's like how they took it to a place where it was storytelling, it was combined with music, and it made me feel good. It made me feel like inspired and like, and I felt a lot just by watching them. So I think it always changed the story. And like when I was younger, I would always like to tell stories, like with anything, like like doing little scenes with the camera and like pushing record and like playing like characters like, hey, what are you doing? And like, hey, what are you doing? And like kind of put them together. But like when you push the record button, you stop and you edit like that, like that kind of type filmmaking. When I was little, just I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just like just playing like a kid, and so I always gravitated towards story. And then when I saw Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, it was like they're doing dance and story. So I was like, and I think when that happened, it changed my whole mentality of how I want to present myself as a performer, and like my stage at the time was the circle, and especially doing BC1 is such like, it's not a B-boy circle where you're going out and just trying to impress and like, fight for the, you know, for the moment, it's like you're on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a performance.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
kind of like, I just wanted to inspire people. I think like that was my goal, like when I did Red Bull, and to also like inspire myself and like, because I hate competitions. Like I've always hated them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What made you go for BC1 then?
because I hated them.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
just
Feel
wanted
free to
to.
explain more.
Uh-huh.
I just don't like competition. I don't. I never. I think what it does. To
So
me,
you saw BC1 as more of a performance than competition. That's what allowed you to kind of like tap into that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I like performing more than I like competing.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, because it's sharing. It's
Mhm.
more like a sharing rather than trying to like, to win a title over somebody. Because I don't think there is like a best of like anybody. Everybody has their moment, and
Mhm.
somebody could be fucking shining in one moment and like just be the worst at their, you know, at their time in one. And I think I just like always had maybe insecurities about battling, and like I love battling with my crew because like it's my crew and like there's a bunch of us and we're a team, and like if one of us loses, we all lose, and it's kind of like a brotherhood thing. Like
Mhm.
it takes off the stress of like a one-on-one and like beating yourself up afterwards if you didn't do
Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
perfectionism. I hated all that. Like it took away the magic for me of why I do it, you know.
Wow.
So but the reason why I did it is because when they asked me to do it, I thought to myself, no way. And I thought, why? I was like, oh, because I'm scared of losing. So that's why I got to do it. So that's why I decided to do it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, I think you're talking into like sort of like conquering your fears, right? Like doing the thing that scares you, and that's kind of what motivates you to do it. Because like, yeah, this thing scares me, so I'm gonna figure out a way for me to overcome that. And you did a TED talk where you were talking about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, can you talk about like how that whole thing came about?
And I would add too, though, like that's crazy to sit here as also just a fan of you and a fan in dance too, and sit here and hear you say that, because it was when I had seen you before in like different clips on B-Boy World and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But seeing you at Rebel BC1 was when I truly became a fan of
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I
cool.
didn't know anything about you. I never met you yet, but I was like, this full style is just so dope and all that stuff. But to hear you say it like that in this seat and talk about how like, you know, the why you did it, I'm like, holy crap, that's
All
because
right.
from my seat from YouTube and shit,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
for
It's like
sure.
if you're gonna make it to BC1, you're about that life.
Yeah.
That's what it feels and
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like, you know. But to hear you say that is actually really powerful and inspiring in a different way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things that and it's similar to the TED Talk as you brought that up. It's the
Mhm.
same thing of like it wasn't I didn't fight to get there. It wasn't a goal to like I'm gonna go to every competition and try to get there and stuff like that. And like and mad respect for the people who do that. Like who like I'm sure you know, somebody like Lilu, like who won that year, you know, like that guy is like dedicated to that craft and like and he loves the competition and like and he
does.
thrives off of it, you know, like and you could see
Yeah,
it, like he
yeah.
shines in that. That's where he belongs. Like he has this thing about him, and like so I do feel like when he won that year, you know, a lot of people were like, yo, you deserve to win that battle. And I was like, you know, that wasn't what I was after. That's not what I came there to do. Like just to win that. I feel like Lilu came there and he trained hard and worked hard to win that. And I felt it was deserved that he won it, you know? And for me, and I kind of I regret this like a little bit to this day. Like I kind of threw it at the end, kind of threw the battle because like I looked around and like I heard people chanting my name and like when I first got there and I walked on stage, like you know I wasn't really in the scene that much. The crowd didn't really know who I was, and like but by the end, like people were chanting my name, and I just felt like I came there to do what I did.
Mhm.
So I was like, I already won, you know. So I
Yeah.
kind of like gave up on the last round, and I just needed to do one more thing, and I just kind of stood up and I just walked off, and I was like, because I was content, and then afterwards I was like, I could have just did one more thing,
Yeah.
and it maybe would have been a different outcome in the end. And so I have like the little regrets because I feel like if I would have pushed hard and lost, then I would have been on that side of the coin, you know, of like instead of being like I already won. I came here to do what I wanted to do. But anyways,
It's okay. You're not alone in this room on that feeling.
That's
Really?
super interesting.
You guys had that too?
Well,
Explain.
Well, at least, I mean, it's not about us, it's about me. I felt similar things with things like ABDC or NBC, you know what I mean? Having Kinjaz on those TV shows and like just being at the finals for both of those categories or whatever, and doing our thing and being really content. We were there every single time we did what we did. I think us coming to that camaraderie and being like, this is what we want to do as one of the last things we do. But then there is also that competitive element. It's like if we would have just played the game instead of just trying to rep ourselves like to some pure form of hoo-ha.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We could
right.
have just came out there and tried to smoke somebody.
Of course.
And then maybe we would have done better. But
it's a different
but that's
mentality.
also part of it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's a different energy.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel it too. Like some people are just like they're hungry and you can feel it like energetically. And I mean that's why dance is amazing. You can just feel the person's energy and the room just like lights up like from that one person going out in a circle. Like it's really pretty powerful. And there's also a different energy when somebody's projecting out and they're just wanting to entertain.
Right.
Right.
I want to dig a little bit deeper into that thing where you said you entered because you were afraid of it, and then I mean you obviously unpacked what that meant in that TED talk. But like normally when people are afraid of something, you can sense their fear, you can kind of see their nerves and things like that. But like you had us all fooled, you know what I'm saying? Like you look like you were like, yo, this is what I do. And then even watching the TED talk, like I mean, I'm like, yeah, this is the way that Cloud would do a TED talk. It's a full-on performance. But then you were talking about how you were afraid and you were like almost not gonna do it, and then you stepped into it in such a way where you would not be able to tell like that this was not something that you just do regularly. You know what I'm saying? So how do you do the things that you're afraid of, but in such a way where it's like I'm just gonna own it, and then you would have no idea that I was afraid, but I really am. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you do that?
I mean, it's everything leading up to it. I'm like shitting my pants, like everything. It's like it's the same thing. Like, have you guys saw the Tyson documentary? It was a while ago.
I can see that.
Well, what he talks about on his way to the ring, and I'm just like paraphrasing it because you guys should watch it. But he talks about how many fears and doubts he has as with every step he walks to the ring. And the moment he steps into the ring, he says, "I'm God." Like he just kind of becomes like this person, but the lead up into that moment. And that's how it really feels like. And every time I've done anything like a performance or a TED talk or like battle, like I'm like before then I have so many doubts and so many like I have this high anxiety. But then once I go out, it feels like I'm at home in a way. It feels like very comforting and I remember that I do have the ability to share and to project energy that inspires people, and I think that's what kind of keeps me still while I'm performing, and it's also the TED Talk. I rehearsed the hell out of that thing to the point where like I didn't have to think about the words anymore. I just had to be present and like try to engage with what I was doing, and I think a lot of beating the hell out of something so much to the point where you could do it in your sleep, that gets rid of a lot of the fear or just like having to worry about that.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, it really does. And
speaking of that kind of practice and what does training look like for you? I mean, I feel like you're versed in so many styles outside of even just breaking, you know what I mean? I feel like you're just a mover in general. Like, do you train in all different styles? Have you trained? Like, what was that whole, you getting your repertoire of movement like?
No, I never trained, never took classes. Like, I feel training for me and taking...
I'm going to throw up right now. The more we do this pod, the more I'm like, God dang you freaking... I'm just a natural. I was at 11, I'll just be an ass.
No, I think... my brain works different that way. If I learn from somebody, I get limited. I get stuck in how they do it. Like I've done a couple of things before and like I couldn't like I had to do exactly how I was shown. Otherwise I feel like I was doing it wrong. So by not looking at anything, I didn't watch many people dancing. I didn't watch many films, and like to just free myself of how I would interpret doing it, you know. So, and everything just felt, you know, it evolved as I got older, like in my movement and dance. And you know, I think the couple of people I've been influenced by and I watched a lot of was probably, you know, the people we mentioned in the beginning, was Fred Astaire and like Donald O'Connor, Michael Jackson, obviously, and he was inspired by the same people, so it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, and just finding that thing that feels good, and the moment it starts to feel stuck, you just start to move around and you find something, you know. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you understand that type of feeling when it comes to movement. And like it freed me from being stuck when I didn't have any information coming in.
So I mean, just to kind of like continue some flow of almost like your chronology with you know, everything that you do. We got up to things like, you know, BC1 and like the TED Talk and stuff like that. But what would you say was maybe, I don't want to say like maybe like a peak of your dance career, and then you wanted to transition into other art forms? And like, because obviously I remember when you know, you did like a Kickstarter for Today's the Day.
Oh yeah.
And you started really, you know, showing the world a whole different realm of possibilities and directorship stuff. I remember you didn't even know me at the time. I don't think we met yet. I was on that Western set for LXD.
You were?
I was doing the I was with the Mad Chads group, and me and Mike Song, and we were doing all the waving and random shit like that. But and then with Frantic, exactly. Yeah. And then a bunch of other dancers, obviously led by you, were just taking a camera, going around shooting this other thing.
Oh,
so you remember?
You guys
and
were there.
I'm like, what is this? And then later,
and
then later this video comes out, and just with sound effects of guns, nobody's holding real weapons, but you sound designed the whole thing. You slowed mo moments. You made And I remember being like, the B-boy cloud knows that this is just like a hobby. Next thing you know, I start seeing more things. The zombie Walking Dead or the Dancing Dead, and that shit goes viral. It's crazy. Then you do a Kickstarter for Today's Day, and suddenly my entire perception of who you were as an artist, well, that's what it became. It became more of an artist, not just a b-boy, not just a dancer. You really turned into an artist again, to somebody who, like, you know, was a fan from afar.
Right.
What was that moment for you? How did you know, I'm going to transition and do this as like for real a profession?
Well, it was actually always there before anybody even knew who I was. Like, it started back in Florida. Like with my crew, we had a show that we did at Universal Studios. I was like 17.
It was Skill Methods?
Yeah, it was Skill Methods. It was through a company called G-Force. And we did like a street show at Universal. And I guess my curiosity for like getting into like making like videos and films and stuff like that came when I was like walked past this back lot that looked like a New York City alley. And I was like, yeah, that's so cool. I want to like go in there and like film myself dancing and like on my breaks. So I would go in there, get a camera, like got a camera for Christmas, and I would just film myself. And I just looked at myself in the camera. I'm like, that don't look right. It don't match the vibe, you know. I'm like, let me dress up like maybe like a paper boy, you know, and like dress up like a 30s paper boy. And I was like, still doesn't look right. Maybe make it black and white. And like just started to like find this thing in there. And I was like waking up thinking about it every day. And I just started, and I made my first short film in this thing. And that was before I even like, it's called Paperboy. And that was before I even made the music for it and everything like that. Cause I was in this boy band.
Wait,
Nobody knows this.
Keep going.
No one knows this thing, bro. I was in a boy band, bro.
I love the eyebrows he's looking at us like for a quick like, I'm in this boy band?
I was in this boy band.
Okay, yeah.
No, but yeah, I was cause I was just curious, you know, when I was like younger, and I had like a love for music, and like, and especially like when NSYNC and everything came out, like I was just drawn to that. I was like, wow, that's so cool. They're just like singing and dancing, and like, so I love this thing about singing and dancing. That's why I gravitate towards, you know, Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. But and it just looked so fun, their life, and then like I was like, maybe I'd try that out, you know. And like I didn't know how to sing at all. I started playing this piano that I came across, and when I was moving to Orlando, I heard about auditions for this boy band, and I was like, let me try that out. And like I went and like I auditioned, and like I didn't, needless to say, I didn't make it for my voice. I made it for my dancing. So they took me in because I was a good dancer, and like, you know, I never had any parts. Like I was just in the back, just killing it. And like, I
How old were
my
you?
hair, bro. I was like,
What is this boy
I think
band
I was like
called?
17, 18. It's called Exact.
Exact.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
exactly, but Exact.
Okay.
Led by a guy named Zach.
Exact.
That'll be
Okay.
good.
It's Zach.
It's
It's Exact, and this is Zach.
Are there
yeah, I need
Are there
like,
videos
I wanna
online?
Find,
Are there
That's what I'm
songs
saying.
on
That's what I'm trying
Spotify?
to get to. Like, where can we find
It's
this
just
stuff?
say it's like, I mean, I don't regret it at all. Like I met some awesome people in that band. Like it was cool phase, but like we were young, like we were just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like don't look it up.
We won't. We
It's like to
promise.
me, it's like some of the most like it's buried like deep. There's really no footage. I don't
Just
think.
you saying that means it's for sure something to find. There's really nothing. I don't think you're gonna.
No,
find
there's
anything.
nothing. There's not, if there is, like, yeah, actually,
It's like, if
I
there's
regret
link
saying
me.
it now. Like, no, but I
Tag me
mean,
in
I
the
love all the
comments.
guys in it. Like, it was cool. It
Dope,
was
dope.
a.
Yeah.
I needed that to just be like, this is here for a reason, and it got me into making music, and I started to like write music and like.
Yeah, because that I feel like was another phase, which like again being a fan, just being like, wait, he does that too?
Oh,
Because
right.
we would see stuff like the I forget what the sound box one where you're kind
Music
of
box.
music box.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah,
like
yeah.
tapping stuff. You're making music. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, he's a dancer. He knows music.
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
thing
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're doing things like with a guitar in a parking lot
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then you got like the musical with Today's Day. I'm like, this guy
Yeah.
does music. This is not just. This,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is totally different.
Yeah, thanks, man. I loved music since, and that was like kind of where it all started when I was 17. But all that took a back seat when I decided to come out to LA to pursue dance. You know, so like, you know, I got the Madonna tour, and like after that, like it brought me out to LA, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna like see where this goes with dance, and I'll come back to this. I have plenty of time to come back to filmmaking and making music, but like, right now I'm in my prime for like physical, and like. So like just approaching the commercial world,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, and then like later in life, after I'd experienced that, I just went back to it. So it was kind of always there.
Which,
You know?
by my bad, but of all the commercial work that you've done, the freaking one where you clean the car garage.
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh.
my gosh,
Yeah.
that was a whole other level.
thanks. Yeah, that
Well,
was a
I
pretty
wanted
crazy
like
one.
that's kind of what I want to get into in terms of like your creative process. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it seems pretty clear that you love to explore your curiosities, right? I think there's something like a childlike wonderment that you just continue to tap into. But what is the creative process for you like? Is it like, are you somebody who writes things down? Is it all in your head? Like, how do you? Yeah, what does that process look like?
Man, it's a long list of a process, like to get something done, especially and like I said, like you mentioned, like I'm really curious about a lot of stuff, so I have like a lot of different forms of art, and that's always been the struggle of me growing up. It was like, what do I do? You know, I love drawing, I love animating, I love all these things. I love dance and music, and film is really the only place where I'm able to kind of do everything I love and to like put it towards one goal in the end. Like Today's the Day, for instance, is like a musical, and I'm like, okay, cool, I could write a song for that. And it's that film started with a song. You know, like I had a concept for like this thing, and I was just on the piano. I just started playing dun 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 dun, and I just started to like hum dun 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 dun, and it like started to birth this idea of this character. Music is kind of really where it all starts creatively for me. Like that's why music videos are so easy for me to kind of like do, because it's like the song's already there. I just gotta listen to that and like create something off of it. So something like Today's the Day was very much like starting with the music, then doing storyboarding with the music, and then like seeing how it all, and putting an animatic together for that, and then like actually doing some previews where I shoot some of the scenes out like in my apartment, and like we put that together, and then getting the financing with a pitch, you know, and like trying to and then putting together a pitch video for Kickstarter, and like that whole process was like digging in and like, how do I tell a story about my life, that's about this character, that's about it's a musical, and like how do I relate all that so people can relate to it, you know? So it's kind of like thinking about the people who are gonna watch it too. It's like it's a long process, but it's all cool. It's all really fun to do, you know?
Yeah. How'd you get Danny DeVito to get a part of the project? Is he just like a homie or what?
No, it was one of our executive producers on it. His name is Benjamin, and he's married to Natalie Portman, so that helped a lot. Like we tried to take it to his manager and like tried to use it to his manager, and they like all rejected and stuff like that. And I was like, damn. And then he goes, my wife did a film with him. Like maybe I should just. I was like, yeah, that would be great. So she asked, and he saw like what we had, because we had shot the whole dance scene before we even knew
that he was going to be in it.
He was going to be in it.
Oh my god!
Because it was like the idea was to shoot that scene out, put it all together, then storyboard his scene, or whoever's scene it was, and then pitch it around to get different actors to be involved. And Danny was always the main one.
Wow.
And if he didn't do it, we're gonna reach out to some other people. But we showed him it, and she showed it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Just like that.
So you're saying Natalie Portman showed Danny DeVito that in order to get him to come into that last scene?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah, no, I was so grateful. It was amazing. It was she's so sweet too. Like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we can't wait to get her on the pod too. Feel free to let Benjamin let Natalie know.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, but
do you find yourself like when you get the inspiration for something like that, you know, like that's a lot of work, right? You're talking about not just the creative element, but like once you even get into like we need to secure funding, we need to go put together a whole previs and a pitch deck in order to do that, and then bring all these. That's a lot of work. Like, is it? And I'm asking as a fellow creative, is there like a drive where you're just like, I want to do this and I need to get this done, or is there also some sort of like, almost like, I want to let the world know I'm capable of this, because otherwise, if people don't know I can do this, how am I supposed to find myself in this industry, profession, or opportunity at a later time? Do you have that as well? Or are you just kind of like, yeah, I see you nodding your head. Go ahead.
Absolutely, bro. Like, it's like, the worst part about it is when people start to get those ideas in your head that you need to do this and you need to do that in order to get this made, because those are the steps that all these other people did to get there. And like, so you start just instantly, what started out as just like this beautiful thing that, and it had so much faith in believing in this project, turns into like, oh, but dang, I have to go through all that. What if they don't like it? And you start doubting yourself.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? Like in the beginning, like when he did Today's Day or something like that, I didn't have any doubts like that I wasn't going to do it. I just did it because I believed in it. I just like, I had to do it. You know what I mean? And now, you know, now that I'm like branching off further into my career and like getting more to feature film stuff, like that's a whole different ballpark, because like you got all these different people telling you like all the steps you gotta do, how to pitch it.
Yeah.
It's gotta be under 10 minutes. It's gotta be all this stuff that you just think limitations, and you're like, how do I adjust into that world? Because that's not how I function. I just make stuff and I just want to show it, and hopefully it speaks for itself. You know, I think every artist feels that way. Because the business side of it, like some people are really smart with like on how they strategize, and they're better at that than they are actually creating and delivering what they promise. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And like the people who can deliver, like they'll have a little bit more doubts on like how they present themselves.
Sometimes those limitations help me get the job done. You know
That's
what I mean?
that's good.
Sometimes. Obviously, there's definitely times where we just want to do whatever the hell we want to do, you know what I mean? But ironically, there's times where it's like, it has to be this, it has to be done by this, they have to be wearing this, they have to be doing that. That's kind of like, it's almost like an escape room where all the ingredients are already there. It's just your job to figure it out. And sometimes I actually work well under those types of conditions versus like, I don't know, a blank canvas that can be so much anxiety as a creator, you know what I mean?
Right. No, that's actually a good point too, though. Like having those grounds and those like laws to like work underneath, like the limitations, like what as I'm saying is they're good at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's problem solving. You have to like figure it out, you know.
But it is different from like a core thing that, you know, an artist or creator just wants to do, you know.
Yeah. So you kind of like you go through different phases. I think, at least with me, you go through the birth of it, which is the most purest, magical place, like, because you're coming up with it and it's like you're the one living in it and you're like, wow, this is like amazing. Everybody's got to see this. And then you put it together visually as best as you can. You share it. People see it. They go, oh, that's really beautiful. Now to do it like this way, we're going to have to like shift it. And you're like, okay, cool. But all right. And then you slowly start to like, it changes, you know, and what how I learned to deal with it is that I had my moment with it. I got to experience it for myself selfishly when I first created it. It was beautiful, you know, and then like to get it pushed out more, like it's no longer mine. It's now mine to share. And however that shapes into it, I just got to let it go and let it be. You know what I mean?
That is a very helpful and dope way to understand that process. But I really enjoy hearing that.
Cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to do it too, but that's what I've been trying to try to do for myself. So
I mean, it's pretty clear that you have like a very established career that seems like it just keeps going up, up, and up. But you are also human. I would imagine that it's not always like inspiration's always hitting, things always working out. How do you deal with those like lulls or the things or the times where you feel like things just are not clicking for you? Like, how do you work through those times?
Yeah, I'm in it right now. Like, as you bring that up, yeah, for sure. Like I go up and down with like doubts, and just the best thing that happens usually is I just shut off for a moment. Just shut off and not try to force it, you know. Because when I force it, it's just like it just gets worse, and it gets worse in my brain, and I start getting frustrated, and I'm like, why is this not coming? And like, so I'm having I'm trying to do that right now. Where like, I'm working on this feature film, and like it's such a challenge. It's so hard because like it's all just in your brain, and like it's different from a short film because you can kind of see it's short film's like a scene in a feature film. It has a beginning, middle, and end, you know what I mean? But like for a feature, it's just like cluttered and crowded in there, and like you don't even know what it is anymore, and like you get stuck, and like and then you just start doubting all of it, all the work that you put into it. You're like, oh, this is not good. Whatever, and just stop. And then you just have to step away, talk to friends, and just completely walk away from it for a moment, and then come back. And if it's still there, it'll reignite. Usually that's how it happens with me. But yeah, dude, I don't think I have a right answer for it. It's hard, even for me. I'm just constantly struggling.
You mentioned you just shut off. Like, what does shutting off look like for you? Do you like go for a walk? Like, what is shutting off?
He's a robot. He just unplugged.
It was the remote in my pocket just turned off like when nobody's around. No, it's weird. It's like because I feel a lot. It's like I get like depressed, and instead of like fighting it and going like, nah, I'm not gonna go down there. It's just dark. Like sometimes I just let myself feel that stuff. Let myself feel this dark place, and I just sit there and like, and just let it take its course and not question it. And then like eventually, I just naturally want to start feeling happy again, and like I'll start laughing and like, and I'm back.
So you're down to like hit the bottom
before
you bounce. That's spoken like a true artist.
For sure. And it's not probably the most healthy, but it does. You do appreciate stuff so much more when you hit that place. And you come back like, and you start like hanging with your friends, and you start laughing again. It's just heightened so much, and like,
that place gets dark though for an artist.
It gets
like,
dark.
It gets real dark. You know
Super
what I mean?
Dark. Not only just by your art, just by your life.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's weirdly inspiring to hear somebody like you also say that, because like you who have like been able to consistently create magic after magic, and that's how we feel. So just know that.
Thank you, man.
But
Thank you guys.
to also know that it is coupled with such an ebb and flow, such a rise and fall, is I think a lot of people can relate to that. But to know somebody who does great things also does that, like that's actually empowering. Inspiring for a lot of people.
Do you guys feel that way too?
Oh my God, same thing right now. In such a weird season
really? Right
now.
now?
Totally, yeah. I mean, look at the objective things, like, our much of our journey in the most recent years too, right? Like whether it be like closing down the studios, something as not simple, but as simple as that, the idea of that means like there, it's less opportunity to even just be in a flow of movement or just collaboration with like people, to let alone like the downfall of thinking like you yourself maybe like had failed at something and like not knowing how to pick back up the pieces right away and be like, we don't want to open a studio again, or like, there's just so many things to how that can affect your natural desire to be like, I'm going to wake up today and think of a creative concept and really exercise that, because you're just worried about so much other crap.
I know, right?
But at the same time, I actually hella resonate with just being okay with letting the bottom hit and be what it is. You know what I mean? Same thing, like just, connecting with everybody that you're either going through it with or whatever, and just being real about it, because I've never taken myself back out of a hole by myself.
Right.
It's never happened.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean?
I probably had like
communities.
2-3 really deep holes in my life, and every single time, like my brothers and my family were right there. Yeah,
man. I mean, this is beautiful right here. Like what you got. I mean, I'm happy to be here, like with you guys. Like,
You're always
it feels so funny that we kind of. That's probably why we're all here right now. Like we're actually kind of maybe going through the same kind of things. Like, and it's funny because my perspective of you guys is so like I always felt you guys had such a perfect balance of business and creative, like, and how you guys do stuff. Like, I'm like, damn, those guys are like killing it, so from my perspective, you guys like, you guys have it together. You guys have like your shit figured out, and like, you guys constantly like evolving. You guys, you have your own noodles. You have like, I saw John Hall the other day. He's got his own milk brand, Magic Milk, bro. Like, it's like, you guys are constantly always like figuring things out, and like, that's my perspective of you guys, and I've always been so inspired by everything you guys do. And like, even having this podcast is like, still, you guys are always about community and like sharing and like building something like for everybody to kind of follow and be inspired by. And like, that's just, it's bigger than you guys. I feel like that's what you guys have created. And like, and I think maybe that's like where we all are right now. We just want to make something that's bigger than us.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because we just spent so long, and it's all about us.
Right.
We're like, when I was younger, I was like, boy Cloud. Like, I'm like, I want to make a name for I don't know. It's just like, I'm just so past those stages, and I'm like, that's why I started my own production company, like, in the past couple of years. And like, I gotta do something that's gonna grow something bigger than me, and continue on. And you guys did a great job of that. You may be going through or something right now, but you'll come back.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's really cool to just even get your perspective of what you see over here on this side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Because like, we know the struggles of like everything that we've had to pivot through in the past few years, and then things just are different. Things just look different. We've had to shut some things down, and then, put focuses into other things that are working. And then, but like from your perspective, it's like, man, you guys got it all dialed in. And we're like, do we?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, we are making
true.
some moves and stuff like that, but it's cool to know, because we know the struggles that we go through. We don't know the struggles that you go through, but that's also our perspective on your life. Well, this guy just keeps going up. There's no stopping this guy. But for us to even hear that, like, you are in a time right now where it's a little bit of a lull and you're not really feeling it. But like, as you said, connecting with community is so important. Like, and like having the people that know you, that you trust, that love you, to be able to kind of like give you a space to even just be an ear to listen, and then also speak into your life, because they know who you are, even though we may lose sight sometimes of like what we actually even have. And then it just takes the people that love you to be like, hey, don't forget who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a good,
for sure.
Exactly. I needed this.
Good
give me a later, man. I was like,
break camera staging. But that's actually a good segue.
This.
We're gonna take a quick break. But when we come back, let's get into the connection between our communities, you and Kinjaz, our relationship, our journeys, the things that we worked on, things we're gonna work on, all that good stuff.
That's right.
And we're back. So let's chat a little bit about like the Kinjaz and Cloud journey. Just give people some context. I think
how long's it been, bro? Ever since
ever since I saw you do Western gun stuff. No, I'm just kidding. There's one particular moment that I remember being a very, very key thing, and it was specifically us trying to get you to come out to perform at Arena. And this was in Arena, China.
Right,
I remember me and Eli, we were like trying so many different conniving ways to like figure out, and then we just kept on getting the same thing. Like there was this ethos for Arena, especially at that time, right? It's like if we want the best competition in China, which is like I'm talking like this is big, right? The numbers that they pull out there are huge. We have to have the best performances. It's like we're gonna bring best performance. Who are we gonna bring? And we just every single time we're like, yo, if only we could bring Cloud. And it was like this almost like elusive concept.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know, like yeah, right? Like fucking unicorns exist, right?
Yeah.
No, but then we did ask, and then it was still complicated to get you out to China. It's a lot, and then for you too, and you know the way that you invest into putting a number together, it's not so simple. You can't just like you got to put together a number, and I remember there was a moment where it's like, oh man, he can't do it, he can't come out, this or that, and then Eli fucking puts this rap. Yeah. Eli puts his whole rap together, and he has never ever invited anyone like this. Tell us how you felt when you got it,
dude. That was like the dopest like invite. Like when people, I've gotten so many people ask me to do things, but like that was the one, and I've said no a lot. Like I've said no all the time, but that was it. And I feel a little bad, but I feel also like really like I feel secure with that. But that one, when he sent me that, and I heard it, I was like, yo. How can I say no to this? Like I gotta do it. I gotta do this thing because like that's the coolest thing that somebody could like. That's the most creative way for somebody to invite somebody. Just do a rap and like so shout out to you on that. I mean, that was like.
And you gotta know, like Eli ain't going to sleep at night because Coco's in his ear and just being like. If you don't get Cloud, you don't sleep tonight. You know what I mean? You could sleep outside. Like it's all some real stuff. So Eli's probably just sitting there like, what do I do? You know
but he killed it though. He killed it. It was amazing. I felt so, and I was gonna come. Like I was like set. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make that happen. And I actually forgot why I couldn't make it that year. Might have been something that was really prioritizing. Something happened.
Something came up.
But I knew that if he ever asked me again, I would go. Like, or because it was the following year that I went, right?
I think so. Yeah, that was the year you ended up doing.
I'm gonna go next year for sure. Like I made it in my mind. I'm like, I'm not gonna turn away. I'm not gonna turn him down. I just can't go this year. But I felt terrible. For saying no. Like,
but the important thing is, fast forward, you end up being able to come. And here's the second anecdote that I want to get into it. Because we had tried to potentially put together a number together. Remember?
That's right.
Right? So we're oh my God, like the idea of like, you and us going out to China and performing on that stage together would just gonna destroy people, just blow their minds and stuff. And, for us too, this is the year we ended up doing Man Band out there.
Right.
And for us, obviously we produced and we throw the event out there. So reinventing ourselves is also a little bit of like what are we going to do this time? But the idea of being able to collaborate with a different identity, a person, a different mind mover, all that stuff got like really, really thrilling. And I remember as we're kind of going back and forth, trying to, conceptualize different things, ultimately things didn't kind of work out. So part of me was a little bit bummed, but at the same time, it was really a testament to both the craftsman and perfectionist in essence that I truly started to learn and understand. Like, from an outside point of view, it's like duh. Like you can't pay attention to the type of work you do and not think like this person's going to be a perfectionist, and you can't touch a stage without making sure it's like the right type of representation. But to be able to experience it like that, you know what I mean, to the point where it's like, you know what, maybe we just got to do our own numbers right now, because it's like if we are gonna do it, we have to do it so hard. But like things can't get hard. Things can't get complicated. And then seeing you, we're on the side watching this number in China, watching you both tech with this giant stop sign. Coco's like, I have to make a stop sign. I'm whatever Cloud wants, Cloud gets. Like, we got to make it work, And then we watch this number, and we were on the side in tech, and all of us were literally just like, all the Kinjaz on the side were like, this motherfucker's the GOAT. He's going to outshine us at our own event. But it was so sick. And it was just such a validation also to like why, we since the beginning, since the moment of trying to catch that elusive unicorn to actually having you come out there. And even through the like, oh, we didn't get a chance to perform together, but let's see what he does on his own. And being like, geez, like that was an amazing part of I think our journey and our story together.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was a special moment. Like I think that was a moment when we like really became like more like brothers, and it's that experience and that bond, and like it's I mean, I was so grateful to be there. It was one of my most special times of like actually performing. Like that number itself, like I was just like, it just inspired me to want to make a one-man show. Like just something that was like, man, I miss performing and like and being there with you guys and being in a different country and the whole thing, and like coming back to do right by Eli and and you guys, and like we talked like we had some crazy concepts like to work together. Remember it was like the laser suits, bro, and then you show me something, you're like kind of like this. I was like, damn, that shit's been done. I was like, yeah, we can't do that, and then we like backed off of that, and then but yeah, man, I thoroughly enjoyed your guys' performance. I actually wanted to be up there doing that with you guys too. When I was watching, fun, right? Yeah, that would have been fun
because it was band like days would have been relived, man.
Totally, you guys didn't know. You didn't even know. I would have been up there and been like I would have done my choreography from my boy band days.
We would have just done it with you.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is how we did it. We went to the side and we did this. That's true. That was a special trip.
And then it wasn't actually until I think 100 Ways then we finally really got a chance to get into it with you.
On the different side. Yeah, that's our first time collaborating. That was that one, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. 100 Ways.
Yeah.
We had just opened up the complex and we didn't even have a gym yet. So it was just like an open floor. You remember that?
Yeah.
But then you would come over and then we would just start putting these hand concepts together. And this was like also, I got to admit, this is hella funny. I don't know who was there. It was maybe like me, Mike, Ving, but point is, it had been rare at this point to get into a room collaboratively with somebody, especially as the Kinjaz, not to be like sitting on any high horse, but to kind of like be down to not even need our own moves, so to speak, and rather just like let's just run with it. But we have respected you in such a way that we, I remember us talking before you even came to the comics, being like, honestly, man, like whatever happens, I'm cool. Like let's just vibe out. We're in the space with a dude that we hella respect. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you're gonna have an idea, it's not gonna suck. And we understand the creative process. We're gonna go through 1,000 shitty ideas ourselves before we get somewhere. But to be able to ride somebody else's, just like energy and stuff like that, that was a more unique experience for us too. We don't collaborate too often. You know what I mean? But that was a cool time. And to prep it as a previs before even going to China, that was so a new experience because I'm sitting there for like a 4-hour rehearsal and I'm just kind of like you know what I mean?
Doing all this, these gestural things because it's all about the camera. It's all like how it's portrayed in the lens, as you know.
The second you put it in, and you're using a freaking iPhone to build this previs, and you're editing on the spot type stuff. You know what I mean? And then once we finally see it, and that's the beauty about being like a dancer in rehearsal. Sometimes we have to be the creative, so we're not necessarily like focused on that, but like to just be a dancer, sometimes you're kind of like, I don't actually know what I'm doing or what this is going to look like, but I'm playing my part.
Yeah.
Suddenly you see it on camera and you're like,
trust it. Yeah.
And that's
so if you were asking about the process, it's a little bit like he went through it a little bit, like with the boys. Like,
so a lot of just like workshopping, figuring things out on the spot. And
I have a general idea of like what I want it to look like. And that's why like they'll bring in certain stuff and like it wasn't lining up with, the way I was imagining it in the camera. So like we'll rework it, and then, but sometimes they'll come up with stuff and I'm like, that's perfect. And I'll get inspired off of like how the stuff that they've created. And like, but I usually kind of come in with like starting with the areas that I do see very clearly. I say, let's just start here and let's, work on those kinds of things. And we'll shoot it out, previs, edit it in iMovie on the iPhone, and then we can just look it back right away.
That was one of the most crazy things. Like when we were in China and we're actually shooting the music video, this dude, like Gerald would get the cut. Shout out G. Joe would like get the shot. And then Cloud would, in playback, he would like film the playback on his phone. And then on his phone, he would replace clips of the previs. So we would get almost this live actual shoot day type of edit of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And also the actual edit for himself as well to know which
Yeah,
cuts,
yeah,
which
yeah.
takes, which timing, how to do the next transition. And like it felt like the most I don't know, it was just on the spot, but it was such a powerful experience to, you know, as a creator to watch you like do that.
Well, it's the best, man. It's the best way to move on to that shot, because like it's the worst being in an editing room when you just like, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn, they should have held on that a little longer. And like you just, you know, like it wasn't a clean cut. You don't have a clean cut, and then you just have to check it really fast, and you could be like, got it, and you can move on.
Yeah.
Oh, so sick.
Or instead of being like, I don't like that, do that again. When you already have it, you know, you can move on quicker. But it is the best way to do it. You just really film the monitor. For anybody out there, like, you know, wanted to get something efficient, just film the monitor and edit it on your phone and make sure you got it before you move on.
Did you go to film school or anything? Or is this all just self-taught stuff?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to make you guys more mad. But...
I'm gonna throw up.
That's crazy.
I just quit my career.
Self-taught too, but yeah.
That's what's up,
it's,
dude.
yeah. No, that experience was fun. And especially it wasn't my first time working with Jackson. It was, I think it was the third time working with Jackson, because we did.
Yeah, you did Bullet to the Heart.
Bullet to the Heart and Dway.
That's right.
Before we did that one.
I thought Bullet to the Heart was dope, that was man.
Oh, thanks.
That video.
Yeah, that was fun.
Super sick.
That was hard as hell, because we did we shot both those videos back to back. Like the very next day we shot Dwayne, and then the next day we shot Bullet to the Heart. But prepping for that was so brutal. But that one, I was like pleasantly surprised when I met Jackson, because I didn't know. I only saw his stuff when he's rapping and stuff, and like him being his, like, you know, his swag self. Like, I didn't know he could dance.
Yeah.
So then when he showed me clips of you guys dancing together, I was like, oh, you could like, bro, you can like really dance. He's like, yeah, I could dance. It's me. You know, like, you know, and like I was so stoked to work with him. Then after that, I was like, oh, damn, I don't have to worry about you then. Like, you're gonna do your thing. And but because that guy, yeah, he like fits right in with what you guys do too, and like so seamlessly, and like, but he's like one of the boys with you guys.
Yeah. He's fam.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like, so that happened, and then after that we did the Rich Brian video with you guys too. Well, we did with Mike.
Oh,
and,
the one.
Tony.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah. No. That's Titanic.
Charlie.
Okay.
He's talking about
Tony
the one where they like turned.
Yeah.
Tony, Charlie, and Mike.
Oh my gosh, that video was so good.
Yeah, that was such a blast too, and that process was so fun too, because they didn't like, you know, it's not. They were even saying, yeah, it's not normally what we do, but like this is cool. Like we're doing something that's like more character driven, and like that's why I asked them. I was like, who's your most character driven guys in your guys' crew? And you're like, oh, definitely these guys, Charlie and like Tony.
It worked too, right?
Yeah, they were the best, bro.
Perfect.
Like, and I felt so bad for them, man, because they were in these like,
You can
especially
say,
Mike.
Charlie's upstairs. You can tell him yourself. You can apologize right now if you want.
Oh yeah, tell him. Is he here?
Yeah, he is here.
Oh yeah, you should come down.
That's so
I was like,
funny.
what's up to him? No, Charlie had he just had ears. That's all he had. He just had to wear ears. Like, it was huge, but like Tony and Mike, man, Mike had this fat suit on.
Yeah,
and he had
that's
one
so
eye,
good.
and it was like his head was like probably weighed like a backpack or something like that. Like, full of shit, you know. I felt bad for them, but yeah, they killed it.
That was dope.
Dude, I
Yeah.
mean, you worked on a ton of like just fun stuff, bro. We were even talking while you were in the restroom, like the Greatest Showman, when you're working with Hugh Jackman in that bar scene, and like it's just crazy, man. Like your catalog of work is incredible, and like you know, yeah, again, from just like an outside perspective, like a fan perspective, like you just like have done it all. But you know, we know that you're on to other stuff right now.
Well,
you know
don't
what I mean?
don't forget the epic battle with Moose where he loses in Step Up.
That's
Yes,
right.
Yes.
I lost.
You know what I mean?
That's why I hate battling.
That's why I hate battling, man. I just thought, I can't. Kid Darkness. You know?
Kid Darkness. That's
Kid
right. That was the
Darkness.
name.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's my name. I know why John always hired me for the bad guy. He always hired me. Like, I'm like, all my work is like just the happiest stuff, and like he's like, yeah, you're gonna be the Sinister in LSD, and then you're gonna be Kid Darkness. I'm like, okay, I guess I didn't know how to be mean. Like, I guess I was just like, he gave me one line, and I was like, I don't know how to deliver this line. I'm just gonna try it. I was like, I want to round with the kid. I don't know on the side, just worked on that one line because there's nothing worse than having just one line. Because if you have like dialogue, you can go off and you know where it comes from. But you have one line, you're like, how do I deliver that? One line, just stressing out. But yeah. Anyways.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to get to, man, is like you've had a very successful, career, and we know that there's so much more to come. But I'm always curious, like the way that people define success. Like, what is it for you that you would define makes a successful life? What does that look like for you?
Honestly, I thought I knew at one point, and I'm like learning that I don't really know what that is. Like the older I get, like what that feeling of success is. Like I feel like I found more when I think about my life up until this point. I achieved it already in the past of like these little small successes of like happiness and like and having these moments like sharing that with you guys in arena or like shooting and like it's hard to define what success is and if you're ever going to reach it. It's just like more of the journey of getting there and like in these little pockets of moments of like of success, that you kind of have to struggle to remember because you could lose your way constantly looking too far ahead. Like that's what I tend to do sometimes. I'm always looking so far ahead and there's so much stuff happening right now that I wanted. The things that are happening right now is what I dreamt about when I was younger. You know what I mean? And I'm actually have it all, but I'm like looking past that. I'm like, it's not something you project and you reach eventually. It's just kind of like in the moments of like now and finding the success of what's successful in your life at the moment. And I think that's like really hard for some people to do, so yeah.
Good ass answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a tricky answer.
No. It is more honest and vulnerable than I think I've heard in a long time. But I vibe with that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are a success to me, and maybe you feel that you haven't quite reached where you want to go yet. But I don't think
is that always the case, right?
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever know, really. Yeah. Like you just gotta, because it could die tomorrow. I could, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but but I appreciate it, like for telling me that, because sometimes I lose sight on like what I have done, and so I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do need to be reminded.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we like to wrap up each episode with a quick little lightning round, so we'll just like toss some questions at you and just come off the top of your head. Lightning round. 3, 2, 1. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Oh, lightning round. Damn. So I already lost. That's so hard because I only watches Disney movies.
Okay.
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Everyone has one.
You got to just name a couple that are in your head right now. They don't have to be favorites. You don't have to commit to anything.
I mean, I'm just taking references, but like because of my film, but Beauty and Beast and like Tarzan and Inside Out and Up and I mean, those are Pixar films, but they're Disney's too.
Yeah, for sure.
But
What's
a lot of the old
Disney
school
film? Pixar.
All the Pixar.
No, a lot of the original Disney's and original Pixar's, not the latest ones.
Oh,
okay, cool. We'll take it. What is your favorite MJ song?
Way You Make Me Feel.
The Way You Make Me Feel. That's a good one.
Love it.
What was the worst gig you ever did?
Damn. I have to think back because it's been a while since I did like a gig. Damn. Probably a bar mitzvah.
A bar mitzvah?
Yeah, that was.
What'd you have to do?
I was a safari guy. I had to wear the safari hat with like I was like a safari tourist guy, and like it was a whole safari theme, and I was like a what do you call those guys that takes you on tours?
Dang.
Like the crikey guy.
Yeah,
like I had the big like a hat, and I had like the shorts, like khaki shorts, and I had boots on, and I had to dance for these kids. And like this kid walked up to me and was like, Don't you feel so embarrassed dancing? I was so mad. I was like, I'm never doing this dance. The worst thing. These little kids, like, you know, I was like, yeah. So part, yeah.
Okay,
that, bro.
okay, that's a good
bro.
one.
So funny.
What is your most memorable battle?
I had it just switched up, but probably with Venom and Luigi in Culture Shock.
Oh,
It was like before I retired. I feel I
dang.
felt happy leaving on that note because it was just such a amazing experience with them. And
You were
David
battling them, or you were battling with them?
with them. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It
dope.
was in Taiwan.
Oh,
Yeah,
What is your hidden talent?
hidden talent. Shit, I don't know.
Just something that people would never know or never guess about you.
These are those types of questions you have to think so hard. Because I don't know.
because you're just like overly talented.
No,
I'm throwing
I
up still.
share everything that I love to do. Like I just share it. Damn, I don't have an answer for that one.
Oh, good. How about this? What is your personal favorite piece of work you've ever created?
Ooh.
I would have to say it hasn't been made yet.
Still throwing up. Damn it.
Hasn't been made yet. It's one of those
Okay.
things where I know it's gonna get made, but and now
That's tight.
you know,
What's your guilty pleasure?
guilty pleasure. Damn. Like an overthinker,
Hey, it's all good, man. I get it.
Overthinking these questions. I mean, I would guess I'd just say just those rom-com films get me. Like
Love
watching those
rom-coms.
rom-com films.
Ooh,
like,
which one's your
those,
favorite?
I don't know. I saw this. Damn, I forgot the name of it. But it was with, I think Matthew McConaughey was in it.
Is it How to Lose a Guy?
Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah, I
was
saw that
good,
one. I was
man.
like,
How to
damn, this
Lose
is
a
like,
Guy.
hey, this is good.
Yeah.
Like they
That
did
was
some
a
good
one,
like
yeah.
writing and like just setups. Like it was like this shit hits you.
Yeah.
These
Me and Ben
things.
are simps. We love rom-coms.
I love them.
You guys,
I'm a sucker
nice.
for them. Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
sucker
I'm actually
for,
not guilty for them, man. They're great. They're great
They
films.
are great. They are great.
Mine's Serendipity. Nobody asked, but I just have to throw that out. I'm just gonna throw it
It's
out.
Oh.
a great one.
I
It's a
know,
great
John
one.
Cusack. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
go with
rewatch
Begin
that again. It's
Have
been
you
a
guys
while.
seen
It's been a
Begin
minute.
Again
It's
with
been a
Keira
minute.
Knightley. Ooh, that
Which
one's
one?
gonna Begin Again. It has Keira Knightley, Mark Ruffalo, and Adam Levine.
Dang, you're such a loser, dude.
I'm
Oh.
such a loser.
Oh, with Adam Levine, right? I didn't.
Yeah.
I never saw
Oh,
that
dude,
one.
Watch it, man. That one's
That's
good.
it has music in it too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The
Yeah, I gotta
soundtrack's
watch
great.
it.
Who is the most influential person in your life?
Probably my brother Kevin.
Mm.
Hey.
Yeah, my
What?
brother Kevin.
Shout out, brother Kevin.
If you had to battle somebody right now, though, who would you confidently beat?
Would I confident be? Ah, shit. Probably somebody's just starting out. I don't know. It's just like
kidding.
it's hard, bro.
If you had to battle somebody else, who would be fun? Fantasy.
A
Just
fantasy fun battle?
Yeah.
Probably Flea, like in my crew. Because he's just like he's so creative, like when he battles and like how he is with character and stuff. Like he's in my crew, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we never like battled each other, but just throwing down with him, it would be more of a, an exchange
Yeah,
rather than
yeah,
like
yeah.
a battle.
What a coincidence. We actually have Flea here today.
He comes in, he's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" He's all hard.
What was your proudest moment to date?
Proudest moment? Ask me all these like bright, positive questions. Lately, I'm like,
Not,
I
yeah,
don't
it's not so much
know.
lightning. It's more like the whole thunderstorm
Right.
question right here.
So profound in every way.
the proudest moment. Probably when I saved my dog's life. Yeah, I was like, I ran, bro. I almost died. Like, just trying to save his life because he almost died.
What happened?
What?
Time.
Yeah.
Like, this guy gave him all these shots. Like, he he goes like, yeah, these are his shots that he needs to get, and he put like 7 or 8 like shots on the table, and he was just going. So I was like, this is my first dog too. I was like, and I was like, this is how many shots is, and he was like, yep, normal. And like, and I was living in New York at the time. I was walking home, and we lived far from this thing, but we walked, and it was like 5 blocks or something, like, you know, New York City blocks, and like he just stopped and fell, and just couldn't walk anymore. And I was like, what's wrong, boy? And like his gums are white, and like,
Oh, shoot.
so I grabbed him and I just ran as fast as I could, and it was the first kind of that feeling of like a father, you know, like just like, I gotta save this thing. And like I was even thinking about my breathing. I was like dodging cars, and I got there and I gave it to the guy, and I was like, you're so wrong, and I just fell to the floor, and like,
Oh my gosh.
and but I saved his life, and like it was just, man, I was so happy.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Wow.
So it's
Right
a proud
on.
father moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're a
that's
freaking
crazy.
hero, man.
Yeah,
my heart
thank
just stopped.
God.
Yeah. Crazy. What is a current goal or something that you're working on right now for yourself?
I'm working on a stop motion animated film. It's called
With the pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Stray, and yeah, it's a long process.
Yeah, you've been working on that for a minute.
Well, that's just the proof of concept. What I worked on. It wasn't the actual film. It was just like a proof of concept to go pitch the film. So we're gonna do that next month. So it's just like it's a whole thing. Like,
Sick.
Good luck, man.
thanks.
Heck
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
That's dope.
excited. Super excited about
What
it.
is a dream opportunity for you?
Outside of performing with Kinjaz.
Probably a dream job. I'd love to put on a Broadway show, like actually direct a Broadway show down the line. Well, based off of like a musical like I make that I wrote, and it's like on a film, and then it goes into Broadway or something like that. I think. And
Dang,
working
that
with
would be
like
the
some
one.
amazing,
Yeah.
you know, I think that would be like so cool to
Mm.
do.
If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be? Go back to childhood.
I would just say, just as you grow older, just keep this pureness, like keep this like we talked about in the beginning, how to wrap it up, like this magic of yeah. I think that's, yeah, I just miss that. I miss that feeling so much because it's so clouded now with so many different experiences in life, and like, you know, the cloudedness of like,
The cloud.
yeah, it's just so many clouds in my head constantly, that it like just always create from this pure place of like, and enjoy everything that you create.
Hey, take your advice, man. I heard that weighted sigh in there. Grabbing the neck.
Just do it. Just do it.
Looking up,
Yeah,
twinkling
yeah. That's what
eyes
I
at
do
the
when I'm
light.
stressed. Yeah, for
Keep
sure.
that magic, man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
That's what I would say for sure.
So we like to entertain this concept of mastery. You know, we're always in search of trying to figure out like just one thing to just master in life. And Bruce Lee has this quote. He said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." What is something that you feel, amongst the many things that you've been able to accomplish, what is the one thing that you feel like you've mastered?
That I've mastered? Damn. I like my perspective of how I am at the moment. I don't think I've mastered anything yet. I'm mastering how to bring everything I love together. Like that's what I'm trying to master now. Because I haven't mastered anything, so I'm trying to master the thing. Because I'm so curious about some of these stuff, and I never got to a point where I mastered any of them. So I'm just trying to master the skill to hone them all in as one.
That's wild, because when you say that, it makes so much sense with everything you do. Obviously, same thing. I could totally understand. Like, you wouldn't be like, I mastered this.
Yeah.
But it looks like you do it so well.
Oh.
Melding everything that you love. Music, dance, film, you know what I mean? Storytelling.
Oh, thanks,
It looks
man.
like that's like been clearly your journey that you uniquely do.
Oh, thanks.
I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people in the
Yeah.
industry have been able to like accomplish quite that many feats in that many categories of skill sets and stuff. But yeah, man, Just
Thank
throwing
you.
that out there.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Well,
Thanks
dude,
so much,
Cloud,
guys.
we appreciate your time, man. And like, Ant said it, we're over here just fans of your work. And so being able to ask you these questions and just like as fans, just be like, hey, what was that like? You know what I mean? It's so dope to see. And I think the other thing that I'm, just getting from just the way that you answer your questions, like everything is, you're a very like deep thinker. You don't just want to throw out like
Yeah, it's
and
hard
I think it
sometimes.
just goes to show just how much you care about everything that you do, even from the words that you say to the obviously the art that you put out there. And but it's also just cool to see the times where like you are right now, like you said, that things just aren't quite clicking. And I mean, it just helps us know, okay, this guy is human, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So human.
like, yeah, we're over here just fanning out, but like, but it's cool, man. And I love just the wisdom that you have in terms of even letting yourself, you said it, like, let yourself feel the things. Like, don't try to hide it. Don't try to, fight against the low moments, because it's those low moments when you can acknowledge, just let it feel, and then know that that's also going to pass, because there's also tomorrow and the next day and things like that. And so just want to acknowledge you, man. And you've inspired us here for years, and we know, like, I can't wait to see this Broadway musical that you're going to put on, because I already know
After the
that's
movie,
coming. After
about the movie.
Yeah, like, it's just so dope, man, just to see your process, but also just to kind of just dial into, the heart of, who you are, man. So we just appreciate your time, man.
Wow. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. That really means a lot. I mean, you helped me a lot today, just by being here,
Dude,
and
hey,
just
you-
talking,
for
just
real,
talking. Like,
you very strongly inspired the younger versions of us,
Mhm.
and at the same time, I think you also taught a lot to the older versions of us when we got a chance to work together. So, man, hope to continue this journey. You already know.
yeah, bro, same. Like, yeah, outside of this shit, like, we're
Yeah,
both, like,
yeah.
yeah.
He just said
get
on
it.
podcast shit. Outside of this shit.
Outside of this shit. Outside of this, like, this fake world shit, like, we could be fake as we want and just kiss each other's asses and shit. But, like, after this. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, likewise, guys. Likewise, man. To all of you. Like, you guys feel like family to me. Always have, and I feel like we haven't, like, even though we haven't been connected, I always felt bonded to you guys. So, thanks for making me always feel welcome.
Word. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. For real, like, this helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Heck
I
yeah.
would love
Like-
to have you back, man. Love to
Yeah,
have you back,
anytime.
man. Okay, right on.
Anytime you guys want to chill, too.
Yeah.
We'll chill.
Outside of
We'll
this.
chill, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where can people follow the journey? Socials, websites, plug it all.
I'm actually not on social media.
Okay.
I've been off for a year.
Oh, word.
But I might be getting. I think I'm getting back on pretty soon.
Sick.
Yeah, I got some stuff coming up. So for later down the line, it's probably just Daniel Cloud Campos. It's just
Word.
like,
Well, when you
Instagram.
restart the socials, we'll plug it in.
Yeah, when you restart.
Yeah.
We'll plug it in anyway, see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, we can follow my production company is kaleidoscope.co.
Okay.
And it's spelled like collide, like colliding.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's
Love it.
kaleidoscope.
Dope.
So
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
thanks, guys.
Dude, well, yeah, thank you guys for tuning into another episode. If you are tuning in for the first time, we have a bunch more previous to this, so go back and check those previous episodes. If you're digging what we're doing, hop on to the podcast platform that you listen to. Leave us that 5-star rating. Write us reviews. All of our socials, Kinjaz Podcast, Cast with a K, Twitter, IG, Facebook, all that stuff. And appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Kinjaz bang, y'all.
Did you bang noodles?
Kinjaz Bang Noodles!
I love Kinjaz bang noodles.
I gotta
bro.
give you a bunch right now, by the way.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a bunch.
Oh, hell
got two
yeah! I
new
just ran
flavors,
out last
too.
night.
Yes.